When you're on the media side of things, you're not supposed to be cheering for a particular fighter or pulling for anybody to win. You can have your opinions, and that's fine, but you want to keep it professional. But if I'm being perfectly honest, there is no outcome of any fight that evoked such a joyful reaction out of me the way that Charles Oliveira winning the lightweight title did. And it's not because I have anything against Michael Chandler. I love that guy. He deserves every bit of praise and respect he's been getting since he's come over to the UFC. But in my opinion, he in no way deserved to be the A side over Oliveira in the lead up to that championship fight in May. You may recall in the promotion leading up to that fight, across all mediums, both from the UFC and most other media out there, that approximately 80% of it focused on Chandler, who had a total of 1 win in the UFC, over Oliveira, who got the remaining 20% of attention, who had a total of 10 years and over 25 fights in the UFC at the time against the elite talent at both 145 and 155 pounds. To me, that was totally bogus. After stringing together an 8-fight win streak, 6 of which earned him Performance of the Night honors, he was still playing second fiddle to the UFC newcomer. Ridiculous. Though I understand it, Oliveira isn't exactly on the self-promotion train, and given the fact he doesn't speak a word of English doesn't do him any favors in that regard either. But I do believe that it shouldn't matter. There was a time when Anderson Silva was the highest profile fighter in the game, and he didn't know any more English then than Oliveira does now. Oliveira didn't earn his position to fight for the coveted UFC lightweight title by being a personality and a character outside the cage and on social media. He got in that position from putting on absolutely stellar performances against the elite talent in both the featherweight and lightweight division since day one under the UFC banner. In his last fight, when many out there seemed to be not paying any attention to him at all, he went out there and knocked out Chandler in spectacular fashion, something that, may I add, Justin Gaethje could not do in his last fight. And that's not a knock on Gaethje. Anybody who's ever seen or read any of my stuff over the years knows that I've been fawning over Gaethje since his very first day in the organization. I'm just making a point that the humble champion is doing things that the highest profile fighters in this game can't do, and seemingly receiving none of the accolades. Oliveira is an absolute joy to watch because he's a true technician through and through. He has beautiful striking, keeps a very high guard like a traditional Muay Thai fighter, has super active footwork, high output of strikes, and has just impeccable technique. He's always feinting with his legs and throwing jumping kicks and knees, and he moves with the elegance of a ballerina. And it's not that he has big power, but he has such diverse and dangerous striking skills that his record is totally deceiving. Because while the majority of his stoppage wins do come by the way of submission, when you go back and look at a lot of the tape, most of those fight-ending sequences start by him hurting his opponent with a crazy elbow, knee, or punch, and then latching onto them with his ultra-aggressive, technically perfect jiu-jitsu, ending the fight in short order. And speaking of his grappling, simply put, he may just have the single most impressive BJJ skill set in the UFC right now. And he's the champion in the division that's widely considered to be the most talent-rich division in the sport. And he's still going to play second fiddle to Dustin Poirier in terms of promotional love and attention ahead of his first title defense at UFC 269. Certainly not implying that Poirier doesn't deserve all the accolades he's gotten. I've also been following his career for over 10 years, and seeing Poirier reach the heights he has in the latter stages of his career is a true feel-good story. But by the way a lot of the media attention and narrative tends to be going, it's almost as if we're forgetting who the champion is here. And I'm wondering how many title defenses and impressive victories it's going to take before Bronx starts to get his proper due. We know all the reasons the humble champion flies under the radar, but at a certain point, the performances in the octagon need to supersede all the other noise. Now, I'm sure as hell no fight-picking guru. That's an area of this game I try to stay away from altogether for a plethora of reasons. But I've always felt this way about Oliveira for years now, and all my past work reflects that. And I feel like I'm totally in the minority about this thing. But I picked him to stop Kevin Lee, picked him to beat Tony Ferguson, I picked him to knock out or submit Michael Chandler, and in his first title defense at UFC 269 going down this weekend, I'm picking him to knock out or submit Dustin Poirier. And whether or not he does that, or whether or not he gets the proper attention and coverage leading into this fight that he deserves, Charles Oliveira is still the A side. It's just that a lot of the audience doesn't know it yet.